L'Assemblée va entendre la déclaration
The
de son
Assembly will
Excellence
hear a statement by His Excellency
Muhammad Yusuf
Mohammed Yusuf
Kalal,
Kalal,
vice-président de la
Vice
République
President of the
d'Indonésie.
Republic of Indonesia.
Je prie le protocole de bien vouloir
May
accompagner son
I
Excellence.
request protocol to escort His Excellency.
J'ai le grand plaisir de souhaiter la
It
bienvenue
is my
au
great pleasure
vice-président de la République
to welcome the
d'Indonésie.
Vice President of the Republic of
Je
Indonesia.
l'invite à prendre la parole
I
devant
invite him
l'Assemblée
to address
générale.
the General Assembly.
Mr. President, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to congratulate you on your ascension to the presidency of this 71 sessions of United Nations General Assembly. Rest assured of Indonesian commitment to contribute to your successful tenure in this august body. The theme of this session are Sustainable Development Goals, a universal push to transform our world. Is appropriated as move forward with our common commitment to maintain and elevate the momentum that we reached last year. Mr. President, I wish to congratulate you on your assumptions. We reassure Indonesian commitment that Indonesia attach a great priority to the issue of development, in particular sustainable development. Through the commitment and setting of global targets in the MDGs, the world has made considerable progress in achieving development for all. The MDG have been an important guidance for countries to eradicate poverty, and the time frame for their realization, and added more needed sense of urgency for the global community. Today, we have a new set of global goals and time frame. The transformative 2030 Agenda is a global comprehensive framework for sustainable development effort for us and at national level and for international community to act as one. The agenda is broader than the issue contained in MDGs. It reflects challenges faced by countries at national level, at the same time commit the international community to addressing global challenges. Indonesia is fully committed to implement the 2030 Agenda. We have taken concrete measures such as mainstreaming the SDGs International Development Plan, finalizing legal and institutional framework for national implementation, engaging all stakeholders, including local government, academic, civil society, as well as philanthropic organizations, and developing national and subnational action plan guidelines, the SDGs database, and monitoring, evaluation, and reporting mechanism. However, implementation of MDGs have taught us important lessons. National commitment needs to be complemented with a strong and robust international cooperation. In this regard, the implementation of the 2030 Agenda must be supported by the realization of strong global partnership. A global partnership that makes a transformative difference to the effort of advancing sustainable development. The global community must also provide sufficient means for the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Such means include stable and predictable funding mechanisms and innovative approach in finishing of development. Mr. President, critical to achieving our 2030 Agenda is an enabling environment. I am sure that we are all familiar and have most likely used a term, peace is prerequisite to development. It is very essence. This term simply means without peace, security, and stability, there will be no development. From our experiences in 1950s and 60s, Indonesia can attest to this statement. Internal conflict, regional strife with our neighbor, turned Indonesia focus away from development. Today, we are seeing much of the same in many parts of the world. Peace deficit, security deficit, and instability have resulted in so far too many of our brothers and sisters having to struggle to their basic survival, sometimes in an unimaginable and inhuman way. Increased tension between countries, unsolved territorial disputes are all increasing the risk of open conflict if unrestrained. Real and constant threats from terrorism, extremism, and radicalism continue to haunt us. The divisive mindset as versus them is giving rise to racial prejudice, stigmatisms, and religious intolerance. The long list of non-traditional challenges have profound ramifications to humanity continues to grow from illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, drug trafficking, people smuggling, and trafficking to cybercrime. In addition, we continue to watch helplessly the suffering of Palestinian peoples. Despite the many support of two-state solution, the Middle East peace process remains difficult to move into gear. Unprecedented humanitarian challenge, including from refugee and irregular migration, resulting from the situation in Syria, Yemen, Iraq, and other parts of the world continues. Almost on a daily basis, we are confronted by the 24-hour news network with pictures of stark reality of our world that our blood tears the empty eyes from the most vulnerable, our children. These are all taking place against the backdrop of slowing global economy. The World Bank has downgraded global economic growth forecast from 2.9 to 2.4%. The gap between the rich and the poor is increasingly widening. At the same time, environmental degradation and climate change continue to accelerate with direct impact to island states and the most vulnerable. Mr. President, all these critical challenges must be seen for what it is. It is global and it is massive. In the face of great challenge, it's our commitment. It is our endeavor that will prevail. No one country or region alone can resolve this challenge. It requires global partnership and global solidarity. It needs a global solution. More than ever before, we need the United Nations, a United Nation that is the center of our global governance. A United Nation that is transparent, effective, accountable, efficient, and representative. Key to this UN reform to make the United Nations stronger, making it more relevant to the 21st century challenge and reality. Eliminating the silos in the way the Secretariat carries out in the works. Too many important players have been left out on the decision-making process from the UN, where the principles of democracy is often put aside. Too often the decisions taken in the UN differ to that which is needed on the ground. We need a mainstream SDGs goal and target, universal principles such as human rights in all activities and work of the communities, agencies, and related bodies under the UN system. Most important is for us, the member states, we must also adapt to the new realities and challenges facing the UN. We need to embrace new methods of work that will safeguard the important targets, such as the successful implementation of SDGs. Mr. President, Indonesia is a true advocate for multilateralism. It is inherent in our DNA. In the founding of a nation is our constitution. We are a nation with the fourth largest population, the largest Muslim population, the third largest democracy. A country where democracy, Islam, modernity, and women empowerment go hand in hand, that forefront of the promotion of democracy, tolerance, pluralism, and peace. A nation of 1,000 islands, big and small, fully understanding the impact of climate change. And most important, a nation that respects and fully adheres to the principle of the UN Charter in our foreign relations. These traits have allowed Indonesia to play a contribute role in various UN collective commitments. In the area of peace and security, Indonesia remains steadfastly committed to increasing the contribution to UN peacekeeping to the 4,000 personnel by 2019. Our roadmap for vision 400 peacekeeper motivated us to work relentlessly in our role to strengthening UN peacekeeping operations, while mindful that contribution to peacekeeping operations are not merely about number. Indonesia cooperation and effort on the countering terrorism has been enhanced both regional and globally. We continue to show our leadership in combating climate change through mitigation, adaptation, effort, as well as the issue of ocean and maritime affairs. We have signed the Paris Agreement and scheduled to conclude the ratification process in due course. Indonesia is also committed to the global effort on the promotion and the protection of human rights. At the regional level, we continue to maintain regional stability and prosperity through our active participation in regional cooperation such as the ASEAN, as well as knowledge sharing through South-South and triangular cooperation. Mr. President, against the backdrop, allow me on this August opportunity to announce Indonesian candidate to the non-permanent membership of the UN Security Council for period 2019-2020. Indonesia's modalities, commitment, and contribution to the United Nations make Indonesia a true partner for the world peace. Mr. President, Indonesia recognizes that our journey 2030 might not always sail through blue skies. The realities of our world today cannot wait for perfect condition. It is back us to solidify our commitment to ramp up concrete effort to ensure enabling environment necessary for widespread process for a better tomorrow. Lasting peace is not merely a goal, it is determining the factor for meaningful development. Indonesia remains steadfast and will always in the front line for the global partnership in promotion of global peace and prosperity for all in our effort to continuously work together to create a stronger, more representative as well as democratic United Nations. I thank you.